Tlantla Young People's Government of South Africa, Q&A session. Let's go.
We as the Young People Government of South Africa, we have achieved so much this year with all the power that is in our hands.
Yeah.
From the anti-drug operations in schools in Alexandra and Soweto, from the electricity crisis in mostly Soweto and other reasons around Gauteng, to anti-looting campaign.
Sure.
You can name them.
Yeah.
We would like to know, is there any other important and imperative thing that we must expect from the Young People Government of South Africa before the year ends?
Yeah. So that's an important question because the year is about to end and it's about to be festive season. So before we lose our heads and lose the focus, I think the last push before the year ends is we need to do what hasn't been done to end of the year on a high note. And that hasn't been done is marching as young people and old people of this country, marching to the Human Rights Commission, marching to their offices and actually holding them accountable for a change, because it seems like no one is holding them accountable, and saying to them, aren't South Africans human enough for you to also protect their rights? Because it seems like the Human Rights Office is there to protect the rights of foreigners and everyone else but South Africans. You just mentioned electricity issue. Electricity is a basic human right. It's something that we're promised as South Africans, but it's something that we are not getting. Why isn't the Human Rights Commission holding government accountable for the many communities that are still without water? Water is a basic human right. What type of humans are we as South Africans not to enjoy backup and security and advocacy from the Human Rights Commission? So we need to understand what that office is about, who's in that office, and make sure that they understand who we are as well as South Africans, so that we can have harmony. Because right now there's no harmony. So the last kick of the dying horse is happening at the Human Rights Commission.
Thank you, sir.
Maybe we should exercise our power and demonstrate our numbers. People think that we are playing around. Let's do it now, on the 24th. It's a Wednesday.
November.
Yeah, on the 24th now, not next month, now. I don't want it to be planned like a Black Coffee event or DJ Shimza event. Now, we're doing it now. No advertising, nothing. We'll demonstrate the power of our groups, put it in the national groups, put it in all provinces of the Young People's Government, put it in all cities, make sure that the young people know we are going to Human Rights Commission. We've got alliances, exercise the alliances, make sure that before the end of tonight, before we split here, you've put that message in the groups. 24th, it's a Wednesday, we are going there.
We've recently picked up some communication from our WhatsApp groups, from Gauteng and also KZN.
Yeah.
The pressing matter was that what happened to the raids that you were doing in schools, because it was met with, hot and cold reactions where people are going as far as saying, how can you let them into schools with guns? How can they be pressing up on children? They are bullying them. How is supposed to? So what are your views? Did it actually stop? Is it continuing?
No.
What's going on there?
So it seems as if we unfortunately have a government that is not intentional, nor is our government deliberate about making a difference in our communities. They're all just nonchalant. Now, law enforcement. When was the last time you saw in the news or read, you as a young person, or heard that the police went into a certain school alone and they got drugs and they got weapons?
Yeah.
But when we were doing the school raids, would be guaranteed every raid would get drugs, alcohol, weapons. Every school raid, whether it's a primary school or high school, it doesn't matter. Drugs, alcohol, weapons. School in, school out. Now, the Human Rights Commission had a problem. Again, the Human Rights Commission had a problem, and the problem was such that, you are doing this wrong, doing this right. Not even trying to say, no, well done, guys, come, we'll do it with you, but let's do it better. Instead, they say, no, we must label you. You know what happened in the Human Rights Commission? We have an experience, even I personally have an experience where it was all over. the media, even on News 24, even on Newsroom Africa and ENCA, that we are inciting violence, be it at schools or xenophobic attacks, instead of them calling us saying, young people, we're seeing that you guys have progressive programs, let's sit and see how we can do them better. No, they rush to the media, and all that must happen is that they must character assassinate young people who are trying to do better in the communities, and put pressure on government, Department of Education, put pressure on Department of Education to say, no, you mustn't have those programs at your schools. Now it's like we are begging to make a difference. So that's why in our environment it's so easy to do the wrong thing, and it's very difficult to do the right thing. Because even if you take it back to the foreigners, it's wrong for them to cross borders. It's wrong, but they are protected. That action is protected by the human rights. But when you take the right action of asking, guys, what's going on? No, you are doing it wrong according to the Human Rights Commission. So it seems like they are here to protect what is wrong, and and here to attack what is right by South Africans. So your question goes back to us going to the Human Rights Commission and asking, what's the real problem here? Because when we go into our schools and we combat drugs, crime elements, criminal elements, gangsterism in schools, the human rights has a problem. When we attack, when we defend ourselves against infiltration of foreigners, the human rights has a problem. So again, the real reason why we put a pause, not a stop, a pause to it, is because Human Rights Commission had a lot to say, which then was somewhat of a campaign to character assassinate us. So we stopped a bit to go back to the drawing board to see how we can do it, because we're not afraid. We can do it with or without them. But unfortunately, it seems like the human rights has the office of the president by its balls, has organizations in this country by its balls, has the departments of education and every other government department by its balls. So we need to understand this human rights, because
So just to deviate a bit from this topic of Human Rights Commission, this topic of the foreigners, who must go? Is it all the foreigners in South Africa, or the illegal ones, or only Africans, or can you tell us more about it?
First, you must understand, we need to define what illegal foreigner is, so that we can be all on the same page. Illegal foreigner is anyone, regardless of race or religion, who does not have the legal paperwork to be in South Africa. So whether it's a Russian or an Asian, Chinese person, or Indian person, or from Cristiano Ronaldo's country in Portugal, if you do not have the right papers to be in this country, you're an illegal foreigner. Illegal foreigner is not limited to Zimbabweans, people from Mozambique, Lesotho, Botswana, Namibia. They're not our neighboring countries, fail. So that's the definition. So with that said, what we are fighting against is the infiltration and the influx of illegal foreign nationals in South Africa. Those that have occupied the buildings and hijacked buildings in town, majority are illegal foreign nationals. Those who have taken Sunnyside, they are illegal foreign nationals. And not only there, you must go and hold all the Chinese at China Mall accountable, because there's no way that if you are a South African, you can't even speak just English. Which South Africa are you from, where you can't speak English? Unless you came here last week, you don't even know a word of English. Then there's a problem. That means you just came yesterday. So we must verify, are you legal or illegal? And if not, that China Mall must close. Let us be inconvenienced. That Plaza Mall, that plaza there, Oriental Plaza, where the Indian fellows are, it must close if they are predominantly illegal Indians. Because black people, white people, Indian people, colored people of South Africa, yes, you have brothers and sisters coming from different countries, but if they're illegal, they must go. We also here, as black people, we have got our fellow brothers from Mozambique and Zimbabwe, but we're not being easy. We are saying they must also go if they're illegal foreigners. But if you are a legal foreigner, you're contributing towards the development of this country, be it you are here because you're a doctor or a nurse, it's understandable. Then we will treat you as an asset. But if you are illegal, will treat you as an enemy because that's what you are.